I was just curious to know how many parents who are here were there for the first part as well. How many of you are attending this webinar after attending the first webinar? Or could you just raise your hands over with the raise your hand feature, just for me to get a sense of how many are rejoining us in this webinar? Or you could just leave it in your chat box. Just leave a message there and I will know. Oh, okay. So we have 1, 2. Okay. Yeah, I know it's not very easy to find that feature. So anyway, okay. So I am not going to take too much time. I don't think Renu needs introduction. Most of you know her. She is a pediatric occupational therapist, and she's been certified in sensory integration processes and ways to manage them in your children. She is the founder of our DOOR Pediatric Occupational Therapy Center located in Somajiguda in Hyderabad. And she has been very nice, has been very gracious enough to join us again in the second part of the webinar. So today she will be specifically addressing sensory processing challenges with regard to tactile system, the visual system, and the auditory processes. So let us also restrict questions only to these 3 faculties, only for the sake of time. And I would also urge you all to, only because time is of constraint here, when you ask your questions, let's try and make it as concise as possible, where, you know, addressing broad range of questions will be really difficult even for Renu to address at this point. You can always get in touch with her and have a much more elaborate conversation, but for the sake of time, let's you know, have brief questions and questions that are very specific to these processes. Yeah. Okay, Renu, over to you. I won't take more of your time. So maybe we can try and wrap this up by 4. That will be great, you think? And then we'll have enough time for questions.
I will try my best.
Okay.
I'm not
Sure. No pressure. Carry on. So great. If all of you are on mute, that's great. Thank you so much. Yeah, go ahead, Renu.
Okay, so good afternoon, parents. I think our last session, I'm hoping that it was, you know, kind of fruitful for all parents, and hoping same for this one also. Thank you, Nayadisha team. Okay, so let's start. So today our topic is understanding and handling hypo or hypersensitivity issues in children. Today, as Ambika said, we'll be addressing only touch, visual and auditory senses. Okay, so last time I have elaborated all this, but I'm just, you know, briefing it today. Occupational therapy is a healthcare profession offering support to people with physical, psychological and social problems to enable them to live life to the fullest. Occupational therapists help people to do the everyday activities that they want to do and need to do when face the illness, injury and disability or challenging life events. So in short, occupational therapists will help a client to gain or regain a life skill. Okay, so when we think of sensory issues, we know the best approach is sensory integration. But what exactly is sensory integration? So in very simple words, I want to elaborate that you imagine a brain where the sensory stimulus is reaching. Brain is working on that sensory stimulus at different levels and the brain is giving the output. So the output can be in the form of a motor control or a motor activity, planning and organization of behavior or activity, anything. So what it says that sensory integration is a neurological process. It modulates the intensity of information. So basically modulation is trimming. Trimming means what the brain wants, brain takes, and what it doesn't want, it ignores. So when we say hypo or hypersensitivity issues, those children, they fit into modulation category. After modulation, brain starts discriminating the detailed sensory information, and then it gives the output in the form of motor control, planning and organization. So when we say sensory integration is not happening properly, the result is sensory processing disorder. So what is that? It means it is a neurological condition in which sensory input, either from environment, So environmental sensory inputs are visual, auditory, and touch, or from one's body, that is vestibular and proprioception. They are not detected by the brain or poorly detected. They are poorly modulated or interpreted, and the result is an atypical response. So usually that what happens in our children, the response is always atypical. Okay, so this is like what is hyper and hypersensitivity. So hypersensitivity or over-responsive is aversive response or excessive response to a sensory stimuli, which may appear normal for others. So child always gives a fight or flight mechanism. So that means fight is something like child gets aggressive, but flight means child leaves the situation. Commonly involved systems are touch, vestibular, visual, auditory, olfactory, and gustatory. So our next category is hyposensitive or seeking. Uh, as a therapist, hyposensitive and seeking are little different for me, but as a parent, I don't want you to get confused. So what that category means? Sensory input doesn't have as much impact as it does on most of the people. These children, they may fail to register the important sensory information. So, for example, if someone is calling them, they fail to understand that the voice is coming to me and I have to catch that. So they don't respond. Commonly involved systems are touch, vestibular, proprioception, visual, and auditory as well. Sensory seeking is something craving for a particular sensory input. It can be vestibular, it can be visual, it can be touch. It depends on child. Okay, now let's move to tactile. Okay, so before moving to the symptoms or the signs, let me tell you that tactile system is the first system to develop when the baby is born. Because when the baby is born, visual, auditory, none of the systems are developed. The only system which responds is tactile. When the mother holds the baby, baby responds to it. So that system is very much responsible for bonding of baby to the caretaker or to the mother. When that there is hypersensitivity or hyposensitivity in touch system, often we see that these children are not much attached to like parents or the caretaker. Okay, so what are the commonly seen behaviors? They are aggressive because they don't like more of touch sense around them. Uh, they are unable to sit at one place for longer time period, and they are distractible as well. They tend to overreact to unexpected touch, especially light touch. So we can think that the child is sitting, someone comes and gives a hug to child, they hate it. If they see a person, they can accept it if they know the person. But unexpectedly, if you come and hug, they don't like it. They may avoid messy play because they basically don't like messy hands. They because the stimulation on hand is really big for them. They dislike head bath, hair cutting, nail cutting. Major impact on play, self-care. Yes, because play is very limited. Self-care because when we think of bathing, eating with hand is a big issue. They don't want to touch hand to anything. Bathing again becomes issue because as we said, head bath is a problem. Then applying soaps, creams, talcum powders is a big issue for them. And thus the peer relation gets affected. Okay, so let's move to hypersensitivity. Hypersensitivity is other ways. These children are distractible. They like to handle and touch surfaces and objects. We oftenly see that when we make them sit and do something, or for example, writing, they will touch the pencil, they will touch the books, or they will especially touch the edges of any object, tables. If they see a new person, they would like to go and touch the earrings or necklaces or whatever they can do. They may like to touch and hug frequently. Yes, they like to hug frequently, or even in school, we sometimes we may say see that the child is pushing somebody, the child is going and touching other children, the child is disturbing other children by their own touch. Okay, so they like messy play. They may be unaware of dirty hands and runny nose. They have high pain tolerance. So if an ant bites them, or this child, if an ant comes and bites, so they don't understand. When a parent sees them, parent asks what happened, and they are not able to tell what exactly happened because they miss that stimuli. Mouthing excessively. So this hypersensitivity we also see in the oral area. So anything which comes in hand has to go in their mouth. Okay, let's go to auditory system. Hypersensitivity to auditory system. Yes, they are easily distractible, bothered by a sound which others may not notice. Just think that you are sitting with the child and working, and child suddenly, says that ambulance, ambulance. So we may not notice the ambulance sound, which is really far, but the child notices. So in this case, child doesn't know which, auditory are important, stimuli are important at that time and which to ignore. So they often have difficulty in following verbal instructions because if we say a sentence, child hears the sentence plus many noises around them. So they cannot link that. So that is the issue with them. Also, closes ears is usually seen, with particular sounds like mixie, cooker, or a baby cry. Children usually close their ears or they start crying themselves. The next is hypersensitivity to auditory. Yeah, these children may not respond to name call, but before putting this respond to name call in hypersensitive category, I want you to rule out other reasons like child is, that can be a learned behavior by a child, or the hearing test should be done before saying that. So these children may not acknowledge particular sound. Like, suppose if you are playing with a child, you're listening to a rhyme, you're asking the child that, okay, okay, let's consider a rhyme like if you're happy and clap your hands. So when you say the child, okay, when the hands word come, you have to clap. The child is not able to follow that. These children, they may like noisy places and environments. So usually they like to go to wedding receptions, birthdays, malls, and even in wedding or receptions, we see that these children are always near the bands or the music system where they are. They just put their ear near the music system, so they fit into hypersensitive category. Yeah, these children, they enjoy banging objects or doors. Okay, let's move to visual system. Okay, so I want to tell few things about visual system. So when we think of visual system has a greatest role in a child's development. Okay, so for example, if a child learns 100 skills till the age of 3 or 4, out of that 70 skills are the result of visual system. They see, they learn, they see, they learn. So that almost 70% is learned by visual system. Also, one more thing, if we think of a human brain, and if we put a brain down, we can see the visual system has covered a largest area. That is almost 17.5% of brain area is covered by only one visual system. So now we can think that how much it is important. And we should always struggle to get their best for their visual processing. So visual system hypersensitivity children, they are easily distracted by other visual stimuli which is in their sight. They may avoid eye contact because that's a huge visual stimulus for them, giving eye to eye contact. They may rub eyes frequently. Okay, this we usually see when the child is working for 2-3 minutes, 4 minutes, they start rubbing their eyes. Cover sights from bright or flashing lights. This is usually seen when we go in a function. They may become anxious with too much visual stimulating environment. Yeah. This is also if you take them to mall and if they are hypersensitive to visual, they may get anxious. Okay, so next category is hyposensitive or seeking to visual system. So it is other ways. These children, they need more visual stimuli. So whatever object they have in their hand, they will spin the object. Either they spin the object or they spin around themselves. That can be a visual seeking as well. Uh, okay, they may have difficulty in tracking objects or hard time seeing a big picture. I think this line I'll explain when we are seeing the strategies to deal with it. Difficulty controlling eye movements, yes, because they don't know boundaries. If we give them boundaries to look into these two lines, very difficult for these children to move their eyes in between. Clapping hand in front of eyes can be visual seeking at times. So typically, this kind of behavior with cornering eyes or moving head, fixing eyes somewhere and moving head, these all are visual seeking behavior. Okay, so vision and vestibular has a very deep relation. So yeah, I'll explain it in strategies. Okay, now let's move to sensory system specific activities. That is, first we'll see hypersensitivity to touch. The first thing you are doing with this is using deep touch and strictly avoid light touch. So when you are dealing with these children, when you are holding the child, it should be deep. You should move to child's level and ask them what you want to do, what you want them to do. You are not giving multiple textures initially because that is the main reason of anxiety in them. So you are using only one texture at a time. Then if child gets familiar with that, you can slowly add more. So for example, if you are giving beans or kind of pulses to play them, so use only one. That is, if you are using rajma or if you are using chana, use only that. You can use a big tray. You can hide things, let them take out what they want. But if you mix it, they will be anxious for sure. Okay, so what I want to say is instead of using textures, initially you can use one texture many. For example, if you have a textured mat, so you can ask these children to play, sit on the textured mat and play, or else you have, ask them to hop on the textured mat and go ahead, or else you make them sit on the swing, put the textured mat down, put few uh, balls or few rings there and ask them to kick with their foot. That gives lot of tactile feedback to them. Also use heavy activities like pushing pulling. Okay, so pushing pulling means that because pushing and pulling activities are most calming for brain. They are most, I mean, the brain starts accepting many things after you give them heavy activities. So when you give pushing and pulling, you may find that child is accepting different textures easily. And also you can add animal walk, soldier crawl. So in animal walk, soldier crawl, you can, or rolling, you can add the textured mat down, or simple thing is you can ask the child to, hold the texture in one hand, roll, put it to other side. And again come back, take one texture, hop, go and put it to other side. So in that way, they, get into that touch as well as they enjoy the activity. Also, you can do animal walk, soldier crawl on the textured mat if you have it, or you can use different textures. Like for example, if you put a mat, then you put a to do animal walk on that, soldier crawl on that, rolling also can be done. So that gives overall stimulus to our body. Okay. So let the child choose the activity or texture and slowly turn in the way you want. So let the child choose the activity or texture, anything. If child chooses activity, you put your texture in. If child chooses texture, you can use that texture in particular activity which you are choosing for the child. Okay, so brushing with different textures, yes, you can do it, but before doing that, it's my request to parents that you feel the brush on your hand, you feel the brush on your forearm basically here, and then you give it to child, because I have seen parents giving very rough brushes to children, which is not a good sign. Okay, you can try joint compressions, especially when the child is not allowing nail cutting. You can try, pressing joints inside so the pressure goes externally inside the fingers, joints. Okay, and also massages you can try, that is deep massage with the oil. Giving massage has no particular direction, you can give it in any direction if it is calming for child. Okay, now let's move to hypersensitive to touch. Okay,
Sorry to interrupt, Renu. Is your volume at the maximum? There are a couple of people who just. Is it at the maximum?
So. Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah,
Sorry
it's
about.
maximum.
Yeah, I can actually hear her pretty well. Maybe you all could also sort of increase the volume at your end, those of you who have trouble listening to Renu. Sorry, continue.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move to next. That is hypersensitive to touch. So these children, you are going to touch them plenty of times. You can use multiple textures, create various activities using textures. Like if you have favorite brushes with you, you can hide them inside their shirts, inside their pants or frocks, whatever. Let them find out. Then you can use multiple beams, multiple pulses and hide those textures inside. Let them find out. Or you can make these children sit in a can of pulses or anything and give them a lot of, like you can play a game like let's have a bath with pulses and put the pulses throughout there from up to down and give textures in that way also. All heavy activities which we have mentioned above, like pulling, pushing, you can use them because that is also very, kind of helping them to understand the touch. Okay, so sand play, beans play, clay molding would help the child better to register the sense in a useful way. With sand, if you have a big amount, you can make them sit, or if you have a small, then you can, make shapes, put alphabet. You can put the sand in a tray and ask them to trace alphabets in that, or make small hills of the sand, or you can play like take the sand, fill in the bottle, take the sand, fill in the bottle kind of play you can use. Beans play, I explained already. Clay molding, I think most of you know, hiding things in the clay. Or what you can do is with clay, you can wrap the clay around their hand and ask with other hand to unwrap it. If you have a big amount of clay, you can ask them to wrap it with one hand and ask them to take out with one hand. So in that way, they will understand their hands and their fingers as well. Okay, so be careful while playing, as child may not register pain if he or she gets hurt. Okay, so next is strategies to improve auditory processing. Always, so the first thing what we are doing is always use firm voice and simple commands for better understanding. Command should be given by giving eye-to-eye contact to child, and parents may have to lean at child's eye level. So this is a very important thing when we are dealing with auditory processing, that the command should be very clear. If you say a child, come here, we will go out, that is lost. So you have to say, come, let's go. Come. So, this is just an example. So there should be one word used by parents which is very demanding or dominating, and then child understands better in that way. You can use such commands when you are teaching child a particular activity like racing, bathing, anything. Like if you want to tell a child that he has to put his hand up in a shirt, then the command should be up and then out, up, out. So don't make it confused for child, make it very simple. Yeah. So what strategies we can use it, like listen to a particular sound while listening to a music. Okay, so I think I have given the example before. If you're listening to a rhyme, if you're happy and clap your hands. So that time when the word comes, child has to clap his hand. So first, if child is not listening, you have to hold child's hand and make him to clap it. So that way, if you do it repeatedly, child will start registering the noise, and child will be more alert toward the rhyme that okay, this word comes and I have to clap. So you can use it with multiple rhymes like uh, that bingo song. Okay, so bingo, bingo. So you put whatever you want, but child has to listen to it. Make child listen to it. Make child perform from your side first. Then child will learn automatically. Okay, use rhymes to get child's attention either while swinging or make the child move during the rhyme. Okay, so make the child move during the rhyme. We have already seen now what it means, that using rhymes to get child attention either while swinging. Okay, so suppose if the child is sitting on the swing and child is swinging, swinging, swinging. So that time you are putting a rhyme like, okay, now I will sing a rhyme, and when I say stop or when my rhyme gets over, you have to stop. So that way, like when your rhyme gets over, child has to stop. If child doesn't, then you make the child stop. You hold the swing, let the child stop. So that child starts registering the start and end of a rhyme. You can use it other ways also. Like if the child is understanding you what is happening, then you sing a rhyme, finish the rhyme, let the child stop. Now you say child, okay, now you sing a rhyme, and after rhyme is over, you stop. So that way you can make it do. Okay, auditory challenges along with vestibular and prop help better processing. Yes, because as an occupational therapist, I use a lot of movement when I'm giving auditory and visual stimuli. So how you can do is, okay, when I'm giving one example, if the child is sitting on the swing and you are putting, different balls or clips, anything behind down, then you have to tell child, okay, now pick red and blue. The child has to listen and pick those two. Okay, then next is pink and red again. Okay, so pink and red. So now you are giving only two, then you gradually make it three, and then slowly you make it pick two red, one blue. So like that you are making the activity more challenging. So what else you can do is, if you are giving a physical activity to child like hopping, rolling, whatever I have mentioned before. So okay, so if you are starting from one end, tell the child that okay, roll, 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 go that side, and again get one pink and one white ball for me. So child has to remember that. Child goes there rolling, child does the activity, go there, get whatever you have asked and get back to you. So in that case, again, you can make it more challenging by giving more numbers or by giving more colors. So that way you can proceed with auditory challenges. If you have any questions, you can put
Is your presentation is done, Renu?
Just one last slide.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Okay. Strategies to improve visual processing. Yes, if if a child is hypersensitive to visual stimuli, always keep surrounding very calm and with minimum visual stimulus. Swing activities help best because, as I told you before, vestibular has a very deep relation with vision system. Um, so when we give swing activities, keep small visual targets. Like when you are swinging, 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 okay, go and kick this, or go and kick that, or give me a high five. And when a parent says that, parent keeps changing the places. So that child has to see where the parent is, and I have to give high five to the parent. Or else on swing, you can do, you can put the balls or clips down and ask the child to uh, collect similar colors together. He can do it with his foot. So he has to look at each color, push them together, and make a bunch of same color clips or balls or whatever you are putting down. Okay, so yeah, try to form visual targets while playing or working with child, especially while movement activities. Again, when we see a movement activity, for example, hopping, then what you are doing is you are showing two balls or two cups or anything to a child. Child has to see it, go there, hop, 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 go there and get same colors to you. So we are not using auditory here, we are using a visual stimuli here, where child has to see, understand and get it done. So again, you can make it more challenging. Okay, so this is what I want to say is try out design copying using large or small objects, because we have seen that many children are comfortable with large objects, but whereas other children are comfortable with small. So what you can do is initially you get a plate, bowl, glass, spoon with you and give same with the child. You make a design out of it and child has to copy the design. If child gets better in this, then you can ask child to make a design and you try to copy that. So in that way, child will learn turn taking as well. Child will, that thought processing improves in child. How to make a design, and child will try to correct us if we are not wrong. If we have done any mistake, then yeah. And mazes on vertical surface on wall. So we often say that child is not comfortable in sitting tabletop activities. So that time we have to try a board, or we have to take a wall where we stick a paper and you can try mazes tracing by a child, or you put your finger and child has to follow your finger in a particular way, particular shape. So that way you can help them. Ambika?
Yes,
Hello?
Renu. Yeah, I'm here.
See, yeah, I have a few videos.
Okay.
So should I show it now or should I send you? You will send them to parents?
I think let's take questions. How long are these videos though?
I think 5 or 6 minutes maximum.
Okay, okay. You have a couple of these, right?
I think I have 3 videos. So
Three,
it
okay.
will just give them idea how to work at home.
Sure, sure. Maybe we take a break and then we start this. Is that okay?
Okay, fine.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, great. Thank you so much. Yeah, I see a lot of you have already started sending in your questions. Please keep them coming. We will try and address as many as we can. Once again, a lot of people came in a bit late. Apologize that there was a little bit of trouble with Zoom today with entering the meeting room. There was some change in settings over the weekend that sort of delayed things for you all. One more thing before we move on to the question and answers, and I will ask them in the order in which they have been posted on the chat window. Keep them coming on the chat window, please. And when your question's called out, if you'd like to elaborate on it, please unmute yourself and you can have a direct interaction with Renu. But before you do that, I would really urge all of you to please fill in this form. I'm going to take a pause now. It's going to take you less than 5 minutes to actually fill this form. On Zoom, it doesn't allow us to hyperlink, so you'll have to copy paste this link into your browser and fill this up. Those of you who entered very late, who cannot give feedback, can just fill in the form with their details so we know who all have actually participated in the webinar. So I'll just take 5 minutes, because the sooner we finish this, we can move on to questions and some videos that Renu has. So please go ahead and start filling right away. Thanks, Renu. That was a lot of ground to cover, so I'm glad we broke it into 2 sessions.
Yeah,
otherwise,
I know.
It would have been quite quite hard. Yeah, exactly. So yeah. So again, letting everybody know as you fill, we have recorded the webinar and we will post it to the Naidisha YouTube channel for all of you to have a you can go over it again if you want to brush up on a few concepts that were discussed. And I will for sure, maybe these videos, are they available on the web, Renu, or are these?
Yeah, that's what I will share it with you, and I think you can post it on Naidisha.
So maybe, yeah. And for those of you, so I will maybe post these links under the, the text portion of the YouTube, in the YouTube channel when we post the webinar. Maybe I can include these links there as resources you've shared as well. But yeah, we'll try our best to go over a couple of these videos, because it would be useful to go over these videos with you. Yeah.
I will just share 2. Third one, I think I'll share with you. Now I'll share 2 videos.
Okay, super. Somebody here has asked me if the first session can be posted. Please go to our YouTube channel. I'm going to share it with you right now. We have already posted the footage from the first webinar on our website. I'm just going to share it with you all. 1 second. Oh, I see the first footage we had a bit of trouble. Let me check. This is our YouTube channel. You can find a lot of videos here. Thank you for those of you who submitted. Really urge the rest of you to start filling the form, please, because then we can quickly move on to the question and answer as well as the videos. I see people are filling. Thank you. Yeah, one of the reasons we really want this feedback is for us to understand how can we conduct these webinars better, what kind of topics would you prefer, and it will also be useful for Renu because we will pass on your feedback to her about topics that were most useful to you all, and what you plan, how you plan to implement changes. That will really help us as well. So yeah, so please keep them coming. I already have 10 responses, 29 to go. So thank you all, those of you who filled. I'll give it 4 more minutes and then we'll get to the questions, but please do start filling. Okay. Sharing the link again for those of you who came a little late. The topics of previous session summaries posted were, so basically the hypo and hypersensitivity challenges were divided into 2 parts because it was difficult to really fit in everything in the first webinars. I will share so please go to our YouTube channel. I noticed that the webinar footage is not live yet. I'm going to look into it and see why not. It was until yesterday, maybe there's some trouble there, but I will check. I sent a link to our YouTube channel, so hang on to that and do look out for footage on our YouTube channel. We will post all the webinars we do. We post footage to that as well. Yeah, so Parisa, I'll just let me look into it because I was unable to find it as well. So maybe there was some kind of glitch. I will look into it and get back to you. But hang on to the link so you know where to go to once the and we will post to all the peer support groups as well as soon as it's live, so you know you can access it. Great. So I am waiting for 2 more minutes and then let's start. I don't want to delay, Renu, and the rest of you as well. Yeah. Okay. So keep filling on the side as I go through the questions. It's really, really important that you do fill it for us. So please do fill it. Renu, I'm going to start with the questions. So the first question, yeah. Oh, sorry. You want to play the video first?
Yeah,
okay,
just two
okay.
videos.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay,
yeah.
so the first video is like a really very good visual activity for the child. See it. So this is basically a vision vestibular activity. Okay. Yeah. So let's move to next. This is what I want to do on a wall. I mean, these type of activities, this is little tough, but you can start with a simple one, tracing. Yeah. So next video I'll share with you, Ambika. You can share with parents then. So thank you all. Let's move to questions. Hello.
Oh, sorry. No, thank you so much, Renu. Those of you who haven't filled the form, I would really urge you to do so, please, on the side. Let's get started. So the first question, I'm trying to go back. Yeah, so the first questions come from someone with a username SS. So my son presses his fingers against my hand's nails and rubs against it. Is it tactile seeking? How can I deal with it? So essentially, the child is rubbing his nails against the parents' nails.
Rubbing means against parents' nails.
Nails, fingernails, I think.
Okay, you can try joint compressions as I told on the fingers. Then you can try giving him activities like playing with the play mode, or if you have a therapy, you can use that. And textures, brushing, if child allows, I think that should help him.
Okay, thank you. It's not the nails, like his fingertips basically.
Oh,
So
okay.
yeah,
Okay.
Okay.
so he rubs his fingertips against my nails vertically and little fast, kind of. I don't know whether to get the feel of nails and particular.
Give me 1 minute. Give me 1 minute. Yeah, tell me now. Can you show me? I mean, you can show with your hands how it does.
Okay, I will try. So it's just like you know, this is my hand. Can you see my hand?
I think
Sorry,
you should.
no. You have to move the camera further down, I think.
Little down, yeah.
Even
Okay,
further
so
down, even more. Yeah, yeah, a little better.
so
Yes,
if
sure.
this is my hand, I mean,
Uh-huh.
this is say this is his hand. So
Mhm.
he's like this, rubbing nails against his fingertips, fast, little
Okay, okay.
fast, like this.
So, you feel he is seeking touch
I think so, and mostly it's in night
while
before
sleeping,
sleeping.
before going to
Yeah,
sleep?
before.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
you give him joint compressions and massage to
Okay.
fingertips as well. And you know, you can, as I told, that is the correct thing. You have to play with a lot of clay molding and all with him. You can
Okay.
give him beans to play because if he's seeking, you have to provide his seeking thing. And if you give lot of textures, he will be fine, I guess. And
Sure. Sure.
at the end, even you have to see that it can be a learned behavior. So
Hmm.
better consult a behavior therapist how to get rid of that.
Hmm. Okay.
So first you try all
I
this
Yeah, I
touch.
asked our OT lady, and she said like this is just for relaxation. So just give massage before sleeping, and it will go.
Possibly, yeah, possible, possible.
Okay.
You can try
Okay.
out textures in throughout day because once they get satisfied with the textures, they will be calm at the end of the day.
All right. Thank you so much, ma'am. Thank you.
Yeah. Okay, the next question is from Soumya. Kindly give suggestions to help stop mouthing. And
Help,
she mouthing.
help, mouthing. Okay.
Yeah, and my kid doesn't open the mouth during blushing.
Huh, okay. Um, okay. So can I see Soumya?
Soumya, could you unmute yourself, please? Soumya, she was just here. I just saw. Soumya, are
Hello.
you there? Yeah, yeah, Soumya.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hi, Renu.
Yes.
Actually, uh, he always excessive mouthing, as I see in your
Mm-hmm.
presentation. I can
Mm-hmm.
say that. And
Mm-hmm.
if I ask him to show, open the tongue, he will show.
Mm-hmm.
He allows me to clean the tongue, but
Mm-hmm.
he never uh, allow me to pull the brush inside and closer to the inside
Uh,
part. Actually,
okay. Uh, See, basically, uh, so you feel your child falls under hypersensitive or seeking for touch?
see,
Do
actually,
you?
the thing is, uh, I have something in both hypo and hyper.
Okay,
It
fine.
doesn't stick to all.
Okay, okay, okay. Uh, okay, so you first try massage inside his mouth. You get a finger glove on online actually. So you put your finger in cold water or on ice cube and give a nice massage to gums and cheeks from inside.
Okay.
There is no particular direction you can give, but it shouldn't hurt child. You just see that your nails and everything should be cut. And
Okay.
slowly then if uh, once the child started recognizing his intraoral area, then you can start giving him kind of sucking activities, blowing activities, which will help him understand better his oral area and uh, and even the opening will be better, mouth opening with that. And putting things in mouth, I would say, I mean, it should go down with massage, but you know, the overall modulation gets better. The oral thing settles down. So we have to see overall how, which areas he's seeking, how we can solve the overall body seeking. Automatically, the oral seeking gets down in most of the children.
Okay. So
So you
maximum with the massage itself, I could able to solve.
massage, blowing if child knows, sucking if he
Yeah.
knows. Give sucking, a lot
Yeah.
of thick milkshakes and all. You have to give him sucking. Even blowing you can give with a straw, blow bubbles. I think last time I mentioned it. Cut the straw in half and give blowing bubbles or blowing
Okay.
paper chips or thermocol balls. Anything.
Okay. Thanks, Surin.
So more activity in mouth, the understanding gets better.
Okay. But he sucks, he chews the food nicely. Everything is nice.
More. Give him more.
Okay.
And
More.
give
Okay.
thick shakes. Just not the liquid one. It should be a semi-solid or more liquid, but it's difficult to suck that kind of liquids. So maybe a banana shake or
Okay.
ragi porridge kind of thing.
Okay, fine.
Okay.
Super. Samya has asked another question, but I don't know if it is specific to this. What is the context here, Samya? He throws objects and play. What do you?
So, yeah, Renu. Actually,
Yeah, tell me.
he throws objects from the balcony down, or even while playing the house also, he throws glasses or plates or everything, and then he laughs. And that is how he do. Any object.
Okay. So I feel it's more of behavior, because when child doesn't know how to use the object, child starts doing all these kind of behaviors. So if he picks a glass, you show him how to, like, you give him 3-4 more glasses and show him how to cover up the glasses, or putting one glass inside other, so that a object is to play, that idea should fit in his mind. So this happens very slowly. This won't happen, just next day. You have to keep working on his ideation. Ideation is basically you have to provide him lot of ideas how to use a particular object in a different way. So that way his awareness will be better and he might respond better to what you say and what you want him to do.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you so much. The next question, Renu, is can a child be both hyper and hypersensitive at the same time? For example, tactile hypersensitive and auditory hyposensitive.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Next question is from Anu. My friend's son keeps pressing the temples so hard that there are visible wounds. Is it related to visual hypersensitivity?
I didn't get.
I think by temples, Anu, do you mean the temples of the forehead? Is that what you mean by temples? Anu, could you unmute yourself? Anu, are you there? Okay, maybe we can come back to this question. I think that's what it meant, because it says he keeps pressing his temples so hard that there are visual wounds. Is it related to visual hypersensitivity?
Let her explain.
Let her explain it better. Yeah. Okay, I'll keep that on hold since we can't spot. The other question is from Soumya. Ma'am, how to teach cycle paddling to a 3.5-year-old kid? My kid is able to follow some general instructions, but he's not interested in doing activities like pegboards, to see a book or write. How do you improve cognitive skills? I think that's a very broad question for now.
Okay. So see, if you want to teach him pedaling of cycle, you have to hold his both legs, and for few times or few days you have to do it repeatedly. How to do it, you have to teach him. This is just we are training the skill. But when we see, so your therapist basically has to see what is the reason behind it, that it, why is not learning that. Then we can deal accordingly. But yeah, by that time you can hold his legs and teach him how to press, how to push. If you do it repeatedly, he will learn it.
Right.
Okay.
So Soumya, I just shared 2 links. We have 2 links on the website about steps to teach your child a tricycle, as well as steps to teach your child to use a bicycle. So have a look at
Okay.
that as well to see if that gives you more information if you need it. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
Actually,
super.
actually, I have a question.
Sorry, Samya, could we go in order, please? Because there are a lot of people waiting. Could you, is
Yeah,
there
sure.
something specific to what you just asked?
Yeah, okay, okay. Go with the order.
In the order? You can post it in the chat message and I'll get to it.
Okay.
What can be done to increase concentration and attention span? This is from the user ID SS.
Can I
What should-
get can I
Yeah.
get the parent?
Yeah, could you unmute yourself, please? What do you mean by what should be done to increase concentration and attention span? I think the parent is not around. Okay, we'll come back to that question. From Mr. Ashish Sinha, for my son to sleep, we have to keep rocking. It has now become a habit. Do we need to stop? Secondly, he likes to jump on a gym ball. How much of it should we allow? So I think there are two separate questions here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mr. Ashish, could you unmute yourself? I'm going to unmute you. Yeah.
Yeah, hi Renu.
Hi.
So, for making my son sleep, he's 4 years old. So we have to actually rock him on the bed. And if we don't, then he will just lie down. And sometimes he does not sleep at all for a long time. So it has become a habit kind of thing. And as per your presentation, what I was seeing was like he also likes to take up objects and hit on walls and all, make noise, or take any sounds. If it is getting played, then he will bring the sound box near to his head and keep moving around.
Yes, yes. Okay, so what I got is he is a overall seeking child. Okay, so he likes jumping on the ball. That also you have mentioned.
Right.
Hello.
Yeah, right.
Hello.
Yeah, we can hear you, Renu. We can hear you.
Yeah.
Right.
Can you hear?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, I'm not able to hear what he's asking actually.
Okay. Hello.
Yeah, are you able to hear me?
Yeah, tell me.
So just want to understand how much should we give him this seeking, right? So if
see, basically, one thing I want to tell you that if you see the last presentation, we use all the activities which are mentioned under hypersensitive to vestibular. Okay, so you can use lot of physical activities for him before going to bed, and I'm sure if he gets tired after that, he will not need the rocking part. Also, when it comes to jumping on ball, so you have to put counts when he's jumping, or as I mentioned now, the rhyme things, it should be like, okay, till I finish the rhyme, jump on the ball, then you come down, do something, again go on the ball, second rhyme, go, come back. Like that, you can give him till 5, 6, 7 rhymes, but yes, he should be alert. I mean, whatever you are saying, he should understand and he should listen when he is jumping.
Yeah. Did you get to? Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right. So moving on to the next question is from a user ID called from ASUS. How does heavy activities help a child? Could you give examples of heavy activities?
Yeah, it was mentioned in our previous presentation. Okay, so heavy activities would help in calming the brain, and it improves the registration for all the sensory systems. Okay, so heavy activities can be used as calming as well, and can be used as alerting activities as well. So what are they? They are like pulling. Pulling, you can play tug of war with the child. You can ask the child to pull a trolley. You tie a rope, and you know that rope should be tied to a bag. Child has to pull it from one room to other. Then child has to carry own school bag, which you fill with little more weights, and ask the child, okay, let's go to school. Let's go back home. Let's go to the station. We are climbing a train. like that you can play a game. Pushing is pushing furnitures. You are place to this place. Please help me in pushing. Or you can do push-ups. What we do, like as elders, what kind of push-ups we do. You can just do it in a play form. Then with weights you can play. You can if you have a weighted ball or weight bands, you can play like kicking it, throwing it, catching it, putting a target and throwing the ball kind of thing with it. So these all are included in heavy activities.
Okay. Super. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, moving on to the next one from Parisa. What do you exactly mean by swing activities?
Swing, just sitting on the swing.
Okay.
Or a rocking chair if you have.
Okay. Okay. So just a swinging motion, rocking motion, essentially.
Yeah, rocking motion,
Okay.
swinging motion. That's all. Nothing else.
Okay. Super. Okay. Moving on to Khushbu's question. How do you regulate timing and obsession with threads, ropes, and wires? So there are three questions here. One is, but that's a separate topic by itself, I think.
Hello,
Timing
ma'am.
is- Yeah.
Yeah, hello. Yeah.
Ma'am, actually, this question is for one of my friends who doesn't have any access to therapies. She stays
Okay.
in Bhopal. So I was just trying to help her, if I could get some little help from you here. So I'll just explain it in short. Her son has a very strong obsession for anything which is ropey. It could be any wire, thread, rope, anything which is in that string like of a string like thing. So she is trying to keep that as a reward system or involve some activities with that. But is that the right way to regulate that?
What is the age?
Age is, ma'am, 6 years.
Then I don't think that's the right way. Because if child is still into that, then child might be having definitely a few more issues. So it can be the visual thing that the ropes, goes down. So child likes to see it, or I feel it's more of visual from my side when you tell me. So I just felt it can be a visual thing. So
Okay.
6 years is it's not a correct age to have that.
Okay. And the other thing also which he has, ma'am, he tries to seek a lot of different textures on the soles of his feet. Like he would wear different textured footwears of any people in the house, then walk on different textures. Brick utha ke garden se he will try to, go up and down on that. So different textures he wants to feel on his soles.
Yeah, then the child is, we have to consider the child as overall seeking child, according to me.
Okay.
And yeah, I think they need a therapeutic support.
Yeah, that's what I also felt, ma'am. But I don't know.
Yeah, because if it would have been 3 or 4 years, that's fine. 3 years is absolutely fine, but the child is 6.
Actually, Khushbu, sorry, if you could text me, I will share my number before. Sorry.
Yes.
If you could share, maybe we can get you in touch with some people we know in Bhopal.
Okay, ma'am, that would be great. Yeah.
So if you could text me after the webinar, and I'll try to link you up with someone.
Sure, ma'am. Sure.
Yeah?
That would be great help. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Okay, the next question is from Prachi. My son's 8 years old. He's more of a pictorial learner and enjoys activities with alphabets like word forming or crosswords. But he's not ready to read or write. What can be the probable reason? Is it anything related to sensory?
Can I get her?
Prachi, could you just unmute yourself, please?
Hello, ma'am. This is Prachi here. Yeah. Actually, my son is actually good at learning anything that is pictorial or visual. I mean, it can be puzzles or it can be anything that has to be copied. For example, even if it can be anything which is making words, for example, with alphabets or solving crossword or anything that is visual, and he has a good visual memory. In terms of solving puzzles and all, he remembers a lot. But when I come to academics, he is just not ready to read or write, or he has problem in associating sounds with alphabets. So I have even tried showing picture cards and then associating sounds with the picture cards. But then he seems to have issues with remembering the sounds. So I don't know whether it's a sensory or is it.
See, there can be a sensory part in that. I'm not denying that. So
Yeah, because
basically, what I have
sorry.
felt that he is a visual learner, right? But still, few children who are visual learners, they have issues in, as I told you, tracking or tracing kind of thing. So different parts they can see, they can learn, but when it is okay, so you just try kind of tracing things with him on a vertical surface. How is like pencil holding hand is okay? Is holding pencil properly?
It's not very good, but it's okay. I mean, compared to earlier, it was nice, but he's not able to write much because of his pencil grip, because he doesn't have a good pencil grip.
Pencil grip. So you
Yeah,
have to work on his pencil grip as well. And what I want, yeah, he colors a picture.
yeah, he likes colors, coloring, painting, and all he likes.
So coloring is quite in under like inside boundaries only. It doesn't go out.
Yeah, now he's able to do it within the boundaries. He's able to actually pencil grip is, I don't know, it's much better than earlier, because what I've observed is it's not the grip that maybe
Yeah.
formation of the alphabet is a problem, or
Yeah.
as I said, but more than writing, I will say reading is more of an issue, because he's just not ready to write, ready to read. Whenever I try to read with him, he doesn't want to read at all. So is there a visual sensitivity, or
Yeah. I should say visual sensitivity or can be. I'm not able to
because when
guess
he's doing
now.
his own, see, maybe reading involves some kind of this thing.
See what I can tell you now that you have seen the video, right? The second video where the child is tracing the shape with fingers.
Yes.
Okay, so I want you to try those kind of activities on the wall initially. You can use a finger directly for that. You can use like ask her to dip his finger in finger paint and follow trace it. And I think that you try initially. Also work for finger grip, like you can work with clips. You can work with something like flowering. We use the particular bottle for watering flowers. So that kind of bottle you can use at home. Also, the third video what I'll share, it will show this kind of movement. So you can add little bit of dove or atta, what we make it at home, and he has to do this with the atta, which will give little resistance. You can put rubber bands and ask him to pull it and pull it and get it back again. So that will help him to improve his pencil grip. Plus, you have to work visually with him. That is for sure.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Prachi. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Moving on to the next one. This is from Sudha. This is about eye contact. How do I improve eye contact? Because my child looks up every time we do an activity. So what are ways in which eye contact can be strengthened here? Sudha, could you unmute yourself? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm here.
Yeah.
Yeah, Renu. Actually, whenever I try to give her any activity, if she's not interested, she looks up and she looks around. She's not looking into the activity or anything. Due to that, she's not able to learn things much because
She
she's not
looks
looking
into your eyes when you are talking.
not into my eyes. I expect her to look into if she's matching something, she has to look at the board and she has to look at the cards. She doesn't look at them. She look up and randomly picks up the cards and tries to match it like that. Any activity or she's lacing the beads, she will look up and try to lace the beads. And she's not accurate. So her learning improvement is coming
Okay,
down.
have you ever checked her eyes from
Yeah,
any
I got
optometrist or ophthalmologist?
I got her eyes checked. They're fine. I
So then
checked
it's
with a specialist also to check if we need any training for her eyes, and they said they're absolutely fine, and it's nothing related to the eye problem. Maybe the occupational therapist would be able to
okay,
suggest
fine.
you some
So,
activity.
see, what I'm guessing after if you're done eyes checkup and all that, she is not interested in the activity. That's what
Yeah,
I'm
mostly
feeling.
maybe yes.
So why the child is not interested in activity? Because child is not understanding it, or
Okay.
child has to do. I mean, child has to really struggle a lot to get that thing done. That is the main reason why child is inattentive during any activity. Okay, so
Okay.
so actually this is a kind of vague question for me, because then you have to consider OT which area she is lacking, why she is not able to sit and concentrate, because there are many reasons why the child is not sitting and concentrating.
No, the activity, if it is difficult, I've been giving her the simple tasks also, not even the difficult tasks.
Yeah,
She's lagging in.
that's
Yeah.
what,
The
because
level of task is not that high. She's 5 years and 6 months old. I give her the simplest task, like lacing the beads. She's been doing since 2 years. If the beads are big, she would do it without looking at them. For the small one, when she's looking, she can do. But she's not interested in doing the activity. Even though it's the simplest one, she doesn't look at it. It's not
okay,
about the
so
difficulty part, I guess. I guess maybe the interest. How do I get her interested in the activities which she's
in
doing?
this case, you know what I would tell you, that for if you have attended last webinar, I had mentioned few vestibular activities in that. So
Yeah.
you make her do the vestibular and proprioceptive activities for 35 to 45 minutes, and then take her to tabletop, like where you want to give her readings and all. So then you see I mean, how she is, and you better you get back to me. You take my mail address and get back to me. Because
Okay, thank you.
this is kind of challenging question, that why child is not sitting.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you so much, Renu.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I think the next question is from someone who has an iPhone. Here, I don't see the name. Could you just unmute yourself and ask the question? I'll let you directly ask. Yeah. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, hello Renu ma'am. Am I audible?
Yeah, yes, we can hear you.
Yes, from the last webinar, your slides I've seen. So from that, I came to know like some of the issues I'm facing with my child. He's 4.5 right now. So some of the things, the key points which you have put, like he stamps his feet while walking. At times, not every time. At times, mostly when he's outdoor, when he enjoys. So he's like to stamp his feet. And nowadays, it's been like a month. He's banging the doors. He liked the what I say, the noise. Yeah, and he likes to bang the doors. Okay, and he has some like he doesn't know how much pressure to be applied to something to push it. So while playing also, or accidentally, he doesn't intend to, but he pushes the person, or he pushes the things too much pressure. Like, and one more thing, I'm facing issue during his writing also. So he knows the word formation and all. He knows how to write, but still he wants to me to hold his hand, put a little pressure, and then he writes to the thing. Means I don't direct him to write, but yes, he wants something. If I'm not holding his hand, if I don't want that, I'll tell I won't. He writes very lightly. So from your slides, I can make out that he's a seeking like proprioception.
Proprioceptive seeking child.
Yeah,
but
so please.
I can also I feel that he is vestibular or auditory seeker child as well. So overall we have to see him. Okay. So initially I want you to go with proprioceptive and vestibular activities, because
Vestibular, I still doubt on the vestibular because he responds to very little sound very quickly, and yeah.
No, it's not about that. See, basically one system gets behind, all systems get behind. So
Yeah.
this is a simple theory in a child when the child is developing. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, his primary concern may be proprioceptive, but definitely other areas we cannot leave.
Yes, yes, sure.
Because yeah, so the best thing is you try all vestibular proprioceptive activities with him, and then you slowly move to his auditory processing, what you want to work.
Okay, ma'am.
Like because you feel he is auditory seeking as well. So I'm sure
Yes.
that auditory seeking part will go down with vestibular and proprioceptive
Okay.
activities to some
Okay.
extent. If they're not, then you will have to do further
If you can
things.
suggest me some
Yeah.
examples, like
Yeah.
the kind of things I have told you that he's doing, what kind of activities I can like?
See, he likes to sound good, feet. That's what you said,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
Okay, so you make it as a game.
Yes.
10 times stomping foot, then kick the ball. Okay,
Yes.
then maybe change that thing into a game.
Yes.
So that you could wait for
So
that.
doing it more of what he wants, right?
Yeah, what he wants, then turn it into the way you want, like
Yes.
make him do what you want, or give him a lot of heavy activity. As
Yes.
I
Pulling,
mentioned
pushing
before, you can,
activity.
yes, lot of pulling, pushing. So
Okay.
maybe stomp till 10 count and push something, come back, then again do something, go and pull it and come back. So variations
Yes.
you can use.
Yes. Yes, ma'am. And please, writing is a little big concern for me right now. Yeah, please.
Writing, can
You
you
can.
mail me?
Yeah, maybe can we, if you could get in touch with Renu, I'll share her email address.
Yeah,
So
please.
it will be
Yeah,
hard to
please.
get through every with
Yeah.
such detail right now.
Yeah.
You could you message me separately, and I will share the
Sure, ma'am. Sure, ma'am.
details with
Okay.
you.
Okay,
Yeah.
ma'am. Okay,
So
ma'am.
you can
Thank
get one second. I'm sharing my number here. Everyone can send me a WhatsApp text if you really want to get in touch with her. I can help you get in touch with her. But,
Yes, that would be
yeah.
great. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you. I think let's quickly get through. One second. For the element of time, I'm trying to do justice to every question here. Okay. I think the next question is from Soumya. Soumya, could you unmute yourself and ask your question? Yeah, this is Soumya here. Is Soumya around? Hello? Okay, so the question is basically, my son enjoys watching rhymes, but he never tries to imitate. So help me out. So imitation is not there. That's the question.
Yeah, because then the child is really not good in auditory processing because rhymes has a particular tune. So that automatically goes to brain. A child doesn't need any kind of energy or struggle to get that. So in that case, I think using rhymes as a positive reinforcer, we can do that. Or you can, if the child is listening to rhyme, pause it, make a movement, again start it, again pause it, make a movement, start it. So child will, get how to listen to it and how to get the movement.
Right. Okay. Okay. The next question is from Vidya. Her son's hypersensitive. Please suggest some movement activities for body flexibility and strength building.
Hypersensitivity to what?
Hyposensitivity to what, Vidya? Could you? Hypo,
okay.
yeah. Yeah.
Hi, ma'am. This is Vidya. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. He's been a hyposensitive child from his early years. He's a child who used to just sit around for hours together just with one toy, not interact or no kind of play was observed. Till now, he's reached 16. He can only work when prompted. He does very good exercises, but everything is prompted. But still, I feel like his body is not flexible, like a simple exercise, like bending his knees to the fullest is one of the toughest challenge. And when I do, I could feel that he's having some kind of pain and he resists to do those kind of exercises like bending.
Because bending forward, you mean, right?
yeah, even the trunk part is very weak for him. So like a lot of like flexibility issues with his body, and I feel like when he does that, there is some pain which he gets when he does
Yeah,
any
it has to happen because there must be tightness. And what is his age? You said.
He's 16 right now.
Okay, so yeah, he
Yet
hasn't used
there's one
particular
more
muscle.
thing I want to tell you, that we have been giving a lot of gross motor activities like swimming, cycling,
Okay.
but he doesn't go into any kind of physical play where a lot of body movements are there. He loves cycling, where there is a lot of continuous movements are there. And like water, swimming, he enjoys. But apart from that, he finds everything else difficult.
Yeah, fine. How is his general like gross motor coordination? He can do things easily, or he has
He's
to.
very independent. His self-help skills. He's well trained. But my only concern is, as he's growing up, I could see that he's not physically fit,
Okay.
and
Okay. So
he
what you can do is, you can you can take yoga help for that because more than activity, I feel he need a slow stretching kind of activity which will release his muscle tightness slowly. So maybe today, if he reaches to a particular level, you mark on his legs if he's touching somewhere. Then after 3 or 4 days, again tell him that he has to reach little further, or make another mark. He has to reach there. So this kind of stretches you use at home and give him. Did you attend last webinar?
no,
No. Okay.
I
So
didn't.
okay, fine. So you use all these yoga things, and after that, you use a lot of proprioceptive activities. What I mentioned in earlier webinar, because that will give overall strength to his body. So, bending, reaching to anything, or the balance of muscles, it would help in these kind of issues.
In fact, I feel like he's very strong, very full of energy, but not able to do much because of the inflexibility.
Yeah.
So
Vidya,
you
maybe
use
you can,
stretches.
sorry to interrupt, it's just because to factor in time, Vidya, maybe you could get in touch with Renu and have a more elaborate, because this seems to be a very case-specific conversation. If you could directly, I'll be happy to get you in touch with her.
Sure. Thank you.
And you could take it up further, yeah?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Renu. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Sonal, if you could unmute yourself, please. I think next question was yours. Are you around?
Yes.
Sonal?
Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
Yeah.
Hi.
Could you ask your question? This is about visual signs. Is what you had asked.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because the hello Renu ma'am.
Hi.
You had mentioned my child is overall hyposensitive because she fits into hyposensitive signs of your tactile and auditory systems. But when it comes to visual, she does not spin objects or flaps hands. But she likes to look at bright objects like a tube light, and she likes to look at objects when they're floating in the wind, like even the curtains or any object which may be floating.
Then we have to consider her as seeking only.
Visual seeking.
Yes. Visual seeking.
Okay, so what can I do? I'm using cards and I'm started using visual schedule for her. For visual, what can I use?
What you want? I mean, because I have mentioned all the strategies, right? So
yes, ma'am.
What exactly you want from me now? Like which thing you want to address more?
Because you said that this is related with visual processing is related with vestibular. So I am, and she's vestibular seeking also. She's a vestibular and proprioceptive seeking as well. So I do all those kind of activities with her. So will this help? Do I need to do anything else?
No. You start doing vestibular proprioceptive activities. I think she's touch hypo as well, right? So
yes. So I was I was doing compression and brushing, therapeutic brushing, pressure brushing for her. But then she was hyper sensitive because my OT told she is tactile defensive. She would not let anyone hug her. earlier.
Mhm.
After doing that technique for
Yeah.
around 3 to 4
Mhm.
months, now she likes to hug. In fact, she comes and hugs me.
Okay, so that's quite possible when a child can move from hyper to hypo or hypo to hyper.
So
That's
I have
quite possible.
stopped that thing, and I have moved to heavy proprioceptive activities for her. So is that okay?
Okay. I think that is absolutely fine. You have to, as a parent, I think it's a challenge for you how to put all strategies into one game, because she is vestibular, proprioceptive, visual, touch. So you have to use one point from each strategy and use it as a game. Make a game for her, and then you can use it. That would help better, because you
Okay.
cannot address a particular system for her. You have to go overall.
Overall, yes, ma'am. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. That was my
Okay.
question.
Yeah, okay. I'm just going to go over 3 more questions and then we may have to wrap it up. I know we are overwhelmed by a lot of questions here. Those of you who I'm unable to respond to, I will definitely get you in touch with Renu so you can take it with her directly. So I think the next question was about proprioception. Proprioceptive response, how do you improve it, especially with regard to writing? I think you did share this in your PPT, maybe, right, Renu? Or
Last time I shared it.
you shared it, yeah. So please, I've just shared the YouTube link to our channel. Do have a go over the YouTube footage. It'll be posted soon, and have a look at the content there. If you still have questions, please text me and I'll get you in touch with Renu about that. Yeah. Okay. Moving on to the next question is, I think, Madan Mohan V. Sir, could you please unmute yourself and ask your question? And I know you've asked 2 questions, so if you could combine the 2 together, that'll be great. Sir, could you, I've just unmuted you. Could you please ask your question? Hello? I don't think he's around. So I'm going to put that on hold. Next is, I think, Suman Saraf. Ma'am, could you please ask your question? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah.
Hello, ma'am.
Please go ahead. Please go
Okay,
ahead.
my son,
Sorry, we can't hear you very well. Excuse me. Hello? We can't hear you very well. Hello?
When you
Renu, were you able to hear?
No.
Hello? Hello? Hello?
Yeah, your voice is not very audible.
Hello? Yeah. Okay. Actually, my son, he bites his nails. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And I have never seen his nails growing.
Okay.
Watch to cut his nails, there is no nails, there is no growth of the nails. So I don't know that many times I have seen him biting, but never I have seen the nails growing, even in the toes or even in the hands. And the color of the nails is also little bluish. So I had talked to many doctors, but nobody is able to respond that why it is happening. So
I don't know, like I'm just guessing. How old is he?
Now he's 20 years old.
Do you give him enough protein intake?
Protein means in the form of, I give him daily a lot of vegetables and fruits and pulses he takes. We are vegetarians, so no other source of protein goes in his body, but lots of fruits and vegetables goes.
Because I may not able to tell you exactly what can be the reason, because nail biting at 20 is something like a habit. And also, if nails are not growing, we probably say it's a deficiency of protein. So I feel you consult a dietitian or a nutritionist. That's
Actually, I have talked to so many doctors, more than 30 doctors I visited for this purpose, and nobody is able to respond.
Any
I don't know.
nutritionist did you consult?
One was there, so she told that maybe lack of zinc. So we gave him
Yeah,
zinc.
that's what. It's something
Yeah.
related to the
Zinc.
essential, daily
Yeah,
essential. That's
but
what I
zinc supplements also we provided him for 2-3 years also, but nothing happened. I don't know why it's going on.
because I don't feel any sensory in this. So maybe you can ask, Ambika, if she knows any good nutritionist, she can guide you.
Sure,
Sir,
I'll ask Ambika then.
yeah, could you just text me and I'll be happy to get you in touch with a couple that we have listed on our directory. Are you all from Hyderabad?
Yes, I'm from Hyderabad.
Okay. So I'll definitely, so just text me. I posted my message on the chat box. Could you please just send me a message and I'll try and get you in touch with
Sure.
Yeah. Okay. Super. I think the next question is from Manjuswamy Tiwari. Could you? I see you've asked it in 2 places. Could you combine the 2 and ask your question, please? Hello, Miss Manjuswamy. Hello. Okay, I'll just go ahead and ask the question. Just trying to find it here. Yeah, let's just wrap it up with 2. I know this has been. Hello, are you there? So maybe
Yes.
we'll.
Hello.
Yeah, no, I'm not able to get the parents. So let me just move on to.
One more thing. Can I ask one more thing?
Sorry, let's go in order, ma'am, because there are a lot of
fine.
questions waiting
Yeah,
here.
it's okay.
Yeah. This is Mr. Dasari. Could you ask your question? I see you're around. Could you just unmute yourself and ask your question? Hello? Hello? Are you around? Can you hear us? I guess not. I'll just move on to whoever is online and who's available.
Yeah. Can I ask one question? Actually, my
Sorry,
friends.
who is this? Who is
Suman only.
Yeah, sorry, ma'am. Let me, since we already had a chance, let me just go through the other questions and.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm sorry, who is this?
Can I just pitch in, if you don't mind?
Yeah, I'm sorry, who is this?
This is Dasari.
Yeah, I had called you out actually, sir. Could you ask your question?
Yeah, I just asked a question regarding my 5-year-old child.
Okay.
Who is having extremely oral sensory issue. So he just taps out his upper incisors with the hard steel. If you just allow him, he can just tap out throughout the day. So sometimes if he just try to divert, then he just threw up the tantrums. So I don't know what to do exactly with that. And his eating habits are also affected with that. So I'm just worried about his and then this.
Okay. Did you try massaging inside the oral cavity?
Yeah, we tried, but I think that it didn't work out well. It seems because there is an OT for us, but I think it didn't go well.
Okay, so do one thing. You try the vibrator brush.
Okay.
You will find it in any of the shop, like maybe Oral-B. I think in Oral-B brand it is available. So try the vibrator brush. Does he suck? He knows sucking?
Yeah, he sucks.
Okay, so give him lot of sucking. Every after 2 or 3 hours, hourly, you have to give thick liquid sucking.
Okay.
And there are like different low sugar or no sugar chewing gums available in market. Online, if you see, they are available. If you are fine, you can, because I have been suggesting this to many people and people are finding change with this.
Okay.
So if you give really a big bolus, child will not swallow it. If it is a small, child may swallow it. But if you give a big bolus and ask him to do it for 20 minutes, 25 minutes, it will satisfy his oral seeking.
Okay.
Okay, so you can use all this. Give sucking every 2 or 3 hours.
Yeah, and can you just please insist me on some more oral massage activities which you told me, because I think that whatever we did was not sufficient. So that's the reason I think we didn't.
You try external as well. Here, here.
Okay.
External areas, maybe cheeks also you can do. Inside, you get a finger glove online, or if you can use your finger, or you get a finger brush. For a
Yeah.
small babies, there is a brush you can fit in the finger, and you can use inside, like inside the cheeks,
Yeah.
both the cheeks, then all the gums inside, outside. If he doesn't bite, you can do it, because if he is seeking so badly, and the bite can be really hard. He
Yeah,
bites.
and if you don't mind, one more thing I just wanted to add to that, because he's so much insensitive towards sour taste or salty taste. Because if I give him a lemon, he can squeeze it out, he can just chew it and throw it away. And then if I give him neem stick, then that also he does the same thing. So it is that severe for him. I don't know what to do to just reduce his finger sucking habit as well along with that.
He has thumb sucking or finger
Yeah,
sucking?
thumb sucking.
Thumb sucking.
Yeah.
How old is he?
5 years.
Okay. Because thumb sucking is making him little bit calm. So I think his oral seeking he is covering up with thumb sucking. So I suggest you not to stop it now.
Okay.
You try other activities, which is satisfying his oral, and then maybe after 6, 7, 8 months, you work on reducing thumb sucking. That's what my personal opinion. Because
Okay.
thumb sucking is something which is very calming for brain, and if you give him more sucking, as I suggested, liquid, semi-solid or liquid sucking, that thumb sucking will go down automatically.
Okay. Fine.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. I know there are a couple of questions. I know Shweta, Neha, and a few other people had questions. It's just going to be really difficult to get through them. We're already way above time. So would you, is there, I'm just trying to go through the questions and find something that's a common thread so we can wrap it up with that last question here. Of course, there's a question from Shweta on eye contact, and I think Renu has already addressed that. Why don't you have a look at the footage once again, Shweta, and you can maybe get your questions answered through the discussion that happened earlier, yeah? Yeah, okay.
Hello.
Yeah, Shweta. So I said your question, we have already addressed the question on eye contact. If you could check.
Ma'am, my daughter is 4.5 years. She does not recognize anything.
Okay.
Okay. Does not recognize anything means?
She doesn't respond persons means when we talk with her.
So I think, Shweta, maybe you will need to have a separate consultation. It's going to be really difficult to address it based on this, and we don't have time. I'm going to share, I've been sharing my number on in this post. If everybody could text me on WhatsApp on this number, rather than leaving your number here, if you could text me on WhatsApp with your query, I will try and get you in touch either with Renu if it is an OT related question, or if you're looking for other nutritionist or other therapists, and I will share the service provider listing for those providers with you as well. So the rest of you whom we couldn't get through questions, really apologize. But if you text me, I'm again sharing my number here, 18972. Please send in your queries. Send me a message here, and I will make sure I connect you with Renu and connect you with the service directory for other therapists as well. Yeah, so those of you who couldn't get your questions answered, please send me a message without fail on this number, and I will share Renu's contact with you, and you can get in touch with her. Yeah. All right. Thank you so much, Renu. Thanks so much. I know it's been a long session. Even for you. Thanks, everyone. Thanks for participating. Thanks, Renu. You can leave if you have to. I know it's gone way above time for you as well. Thank you. Really appreciate it. I will share the footage as soon as we manage to upload it. And I'll share the link with you. And for all of you, we will share it on all our support groups as well. So you will know the footage is there for both the first and the second sessions. Yeah. Okay. Thanks, Renu. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye. The rest of you who haven't filled the form, I really, really urge you to fill it up. Those of you who haven't gotten a chance, I'm going to share that link again. Most of you have, so thank you so much. But those of you who haven't and you're on your way out, I would greatly appreciate it if you could do it and then head out, please. Sharing the form here. Sorry if I had to cut a lot of your questions short. It's only because of time. Otherwise, we could have really carried on for much longer. But like I said, I'm repeating myself. Please send in your messages to the number I've posted here, and I'll definitely get you in touch with Renu or with other therapists that you're looking out for through our civil service directory. Yeah. Okay, is there anyone here? I see there are just 11 people here, excluding me, 10 people. Have all of you filled in your, you can all unmute yourselves. Have you all filled in your feedback form?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So if you have, you can exit right away.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. The rest of you who haven't, I would really urge you to fill it up and then leave, please. That will be great. Sharing, the form's been shared here. Please do fill it up. All right. So Prajakta, have you filled the form? Suman Saraf and whoever has a user ID called user, have you, someone using a Dell's iPhone, have you all filled the form, please? If you have, then I will exit.